I'm directing today's video to those of you with no equity or that have equity that you don't want to use when you retire to Colombia. My name is William Hutchison. Along with my wife, I own Armenia Colombia Realty for Expats in Armenia, Colombia. If you add .com to the company name, you'll be directed to our website where you'll see information on our blog as well as our current listings. When I speak of equity, I realize that there are some that either have no equity, maybe have been renting for whatever reason, or that have an asset with equity, a home, a condo, that they don't want to crystallize the equity in. Perhaps if they move to Colombia, they would want to rent it out. Maybe a family member lives there. They would like to keep it as insurance if they should ever decide to return to the United States. So my remarks today will be directed basically to those two segments of the population. The numbers that have been thrown out are no different. The rents here, food, services, you can live very well on a small pension. Your total firm costs would not exceed $800 a month, US. And as an example, one of the better barrios here is Laureles, where you can walk everywhere. Everything is within 3 or 4 blocks. There might be an extra block or two to get to 2 of the stores that sell staples, rice, flour, sugar, those sorts of things, cheaper than the big box stores do. But it's still only a 5 or 6 block walk. The major mall is 3 blocks away. And in this barrio, Laureles is the name of the barrio. I've mentioned it on previous videos. Within a 3-block radius, there's probably 15 or 20 little restaurants. You can get a hamburger, you can get Colombian food, you can get a pizza, you can have every meal, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's a very convenient place to live. In that barrio, a 3-bedroom, 3-bath will cost between $350 and $400 a month. That's what the rental will be. Services come in at $80 to $100, so let's call that a total of $500. Your food is at the very, very most $300. You're in for $800. So someone with a pension of, let's use $1,500 a month, will live very well. Now there's a couple of expenses that you're going to have to consider on top of the $800. The first one is health insurance. I don't know anything about it because I'm covered under my wife's plan where she works. But I see numbers from $30 to $90 a month for health insurance. The company you would have to contact is EPS, and they will insure you. I think SURA, S-U-R-A, is probably another possibility. The other thing that you would have to look at is transportation. But a cab ride from Laureles to the medical center, where most of the clinics are, there's private clinics. The major hospital is not far from Laureles, and in fact, they're building a beautiful new hospital here in the North End. The taxi fares are very, very seldom more than $1.25 or $1.50. So transportation, although it is a consideration, is not really worth thinking about. You don't want to come here and live skinny. You could come here and live on maybe $1,200 a month. But my suggestion is if you have $1,500, you will live very well. You would want the odd meal out. I don't know how you're having a meal out in the United States if your pension is $1,500 a month, even if you own your house free and clear. But The odd meal out, a breakfast for two is $5, double it for lunch, and dinner with maybe a drink and a glass of wine is $30 or $35 for two people. So your life, your standard is much better than it is in the United States. I think there's other considerations too besides the financial. In my opinion, Colombia now is much safer than the United States. I mean, I can debate that with you. You may not agree, but there's no mass shootings here. There's no one walking into schools and killing 10 kids. It just doesn't happen here. And if you use common sense, there's no risk. There is some petty crime, but my policy always, and has been and continues to be, I'm in my house where I live before 6 at night. That's just the way I am. During the day, I like to get things done, so I usually do things first thing in the morning. But I've been here almost 13 years now and not had an incident. So I think overall, Colombia, on even a small pension, small in the United States, but $1,500 a month here goes a long way. And I really believe with some just being careful, you'll have excess of $500 a month. The one caveat, well, actually, there's two. We recognize it's hard to cut the ties with family and friends. That's the first one. Second one is if you're coming here and you're going to rent, then you obviously will be into an unfurnished apartment. And I did a video maybe 10 days or so ago. You can furnish a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for $4,500. If you add another bedroom to that, it's probably $5,000. But you would have to have that money on arrival. The other thing you have to consider is you're here for 180 days on a tourist visa. I would recommend that at the 90-day renewal, you receive 90 days at the airport with a 90-day renewal, that at 90 days you start work on your pension visa. And that for two people would total about $800, $400 each if you use an agent. So you should come comfortably with maybe $7,500 to start, and then when your pension kicks in, you're okay. That's the video for today. I would like to offer our services as far as rentals are concerned. We'll find you something in a good barrio where you're safe. You'll pay the market, but you won't pay more than that. It's common knowledge here that there's two prices, one for gringos, one for Colombians. This is William Hutchison, Armenia Colombia Realty for Expats, signing off. I live in paradise, guys. You can too.